long neck ice cold beer never broke my heart.
Does Kyle Lowry has some assets that make him more valuable?
I'd say if the question was who's the best looking, I'd say the guy that sits in the middle. But
I'd probably run average, probably 4 hours of sleep a night.
stay in school, kids, so you don't end up like me.
Thanks for being concerned about our age.
He's a dog.
Bigfoot, I know you're out there, and I'm coming for you.
We're just trying to have fun out here, and our idiot kicker got liquored up.
Hey, Jonathan, you want to come back to the horseshoe?
Stay in school, I know you're out there, and I'm coming for you. That's it, guy that sits in the middle. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Coaches from the Couch podcast. We are live, and we have a big episode today. We have our highly anticipated Q&A number 3. You guys sent in the most questions that have been sent in so far, so we're going to get to all of those. But before we do that, we wanted to kind of cap off our trend of NFL divisions that we did. We went through every division, ranked the standings. We kind of put together our playoff pictures. Today we're going to go through and we're going to say our Super Bowl predictions as well as our award winner predictions. And also you might notice we all have some similar shirts on here. You want to tell us a little bit about those, Carson?
Yeah, so actually we just got these done. Shout out to River City Printing for the shirts. Very good material. That is the number one thing these stand out with this is the material of the shirts. So we will have a little merchandise, I guess you can call it store. We're going to post a link on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. And then it'll be a Google form. You'll just type your name. And what you'll do is you put your phone number too. One of us will send you a message to make sure that you did order something. And then we'll get it through and we'll get it to you as soon as possible. Shirts will be $12 or $15 a piece, sorry. And then for extra small all the way up to extra large, and then 2X all the way to 5X is $17. So we look forward to you buying some merch and joining us, and that is all I got for the shirts. The shirts are very comfortable.
All right, you guys want to get into these NFL predictions.
Let's get it.
What do you want to start off with? The Super Bowl? Start big?
Might as well start big, you know. Jake, you want to start it off?
Absolutely. So,
Who's your Super Bowl?
my Super Bowl winner. So I kind of went back and forth on this.
Mm-hmm. So who's your two teams?
So my two teams are, let me look at the AFC and the NFC. So first off, I think in the AFC, I think the Jets get it done.
Okay.
I love the Jets this year.
Interesting, okay.
I just think that they're just such a good team.
Uh-huh.
Their only issue is their O-line, which is an issue.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're so good. And then in the NFC, I'm gonna go with the Niners. I think the Niners finally break through. So I got Jets, Niners, and then I have the Jets winning it all this year.
Okay.
I really find it interesting that you said the Jets. I just think I've heard so many people doubting Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know. I get it, but I think back to like people counting out Tom Brady all those years when he was getting older, and it just seemed like, man, is this guy ever going to stop? And I mean, the guy has 2 out of the last 3 years he's won MVP, and he's got a much better team around him. So I like Aaron Rodgers this year too, but you want me to go next?
Yep.
My Super Bowl, maybe I'm living in fantasy land here, but I'm going to go with my two favorite teams, Cowboys and Bengals. As long as I've been a fan of those two teams, I think these are kind of the best two rosters that I can remember with both of them having a shot at it. So I'm just going to go out there on a limb and say they make it. I think Burrow and Mahomes have kind of been duking it out in the AFC the past couple of years, and I like Mixon took a pay cut. We kind of have a lot of the same team. If Burrow and Chase can stay healthy, I think this offense is pretty unstoppable. So I think Bengals to the moon. And then on the NFC, like I said, the Cowboys, I just think, I don't know really if Dak can take us all that way, but we have all the pieces you need, I think, to get a Super Bowl done, especially if Tony Pollard can break out and become that superstar that we need him to be, which I believe he can.
So you have Bengals
Cowboys? Yeah, I have the Bengals winning.
Yeah, you
yes.
didn't say that. Yeah. So you have Bengals winning, and you have Cowboys and Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my Super Bowl, I have Kansas City Chiefs. I have them going back, and I have them going actually winning it again. So I have Kansas City winning it again. Patrick Mahomes, he's done it time and time. The dude is the best quarterback probably this NFL has ever seen, and he's only 25, 26 years old. So I think he goes back, gets it done. I think a big factor, though, is right now, obviously, is the Chris Jones situation. But I'm seeing he does come back. They do end up getting something done, and he'll be back. That's a big play for them on their defense. Spags always comes out really good in the playoffs. And then my NFC team is the 49ers. I have 49ers with Jacob. I think the Niners had I think they were better with McCaffrey than the Eagles. So I think when they got McCaffrey, that put them over the hump over the Eagles. Brock Purdy got hurt, obviously, but I think with them getting Brock Purdy back, and they say he's been slinging in camp, I think the Niners will be right back where they were.
I mean, you can't argue with their roster. They
exactly.
have the most positions. I think we've already talked about this. They have the most elite players at the most positions out of anybody in the NFL. And you don't really have to ask too much of Brock Purdy. As long as he can manage the ship, they're good to go with health. So
exactly.
Can't blame you.
So we want to go over one more time who you got?
Yeah, so I got the Jets and the Niners.
Winner.
My winner's the Jets. Yep.
And I have the Cowboys and Bengals. I have the Bengals taking it home. Cincinnati.
I got Kansas City and Niners. I have Kansas City winning. So go ahead and go back to Jacob. So since we're doing this, who's your Super Bowl MVP?
My Super Bowl MVP
Prediction.
is Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson,
That's my
okay.
prediction. I think he has 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Oh, wow.
He goes off.
Oh, wow.
He goes off.
I think if the Bengals win the Super Bowl, it's going to have to be a Joey B Super Bowl MVP. So that's mine.
Yep, and then mine is obviously it's pretty much either Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm taking the safe route. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes to win MVP, Super Bowl MVP. So Patrick Mahomes, and then let's go ahead and move into the awards. This by player awards. Let's go biggest. Let's go and go MVP. Who's your MVP, Jake, to start next year?
I think the MVP will be Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
I think Mahomes wins the MVP.
I have it being Josh Allen.
Okay. Yeah, he's been a little underrated, under the radar. I mean, they had him ranked number 8 player in the NFL, so I thought that was a little surprising for as good as he's been for the past 2-3 years. And I saw there's guys like Hurts and there's another quarterback I believe above him, Joe Burrow. So a guy that's been good for a couple years now, and he's the 4th best quarterback in the league. So
I mean, he's an absolute cheat code.
Exactly. And then my MVP, I'd be a fool not to say Patrick Mahomes since I have them winning the Super Bowl, him winning Super Bowl MVP, so I'd be a fool not saying
I
it.
changed my mind.
Okay.
I think Joe Burrow wins MVP.
Okay.
That's who I originally had as mine, but I didn't want to go too much.
I was thinking, the reason I say that Joe Burrow wins MVP, because he hasn't gotten one yet. And the MVP voters, they usually like to vote for who hasn't gotten it yet. So I think Joe Burrow wins MVP.
Allen hasn't gotten it either.
I'm
right?
sticking with Mahomes.
Awesome. So Burrow, Allen,
Yep.
Mahomes.
And then
Who's
now
a
let's-
sleeper though? If you had to say one, like a guy that kind of outside of the top names. If you had to pick one.
a sleeper. I'm gonna say Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar
I like
Jackson
that
getting the Georgia offense coordinator, right? Isn't that who it was?
Mm-hmm.
And I think their offense is going to be totally different than what he's ran. I think it's going to open the door for him to be a better quarterback. So I think
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson.
I'll go complete sleeper since MVP's a quarterback award. I'd say for sleepers like Christian McCaffrey. I think that he has a chance with what he does in the rushing game, but then also receiving. He has a chance to do something that's not really done a running back winning the MVP.
Yeah.
I'll throw. It seems to be the guys that come for MVP are those guys that just take that next step that you don't quite expect. So guys like Lawrence or Fields, I think, could be good guys. But I think Justin Herbert is in for a big year this year too. He was hurt a lot last year, but they have all the weapons around him. He should be healthy. He's got a fast-paced offensive coordinator. So I think he's a good pick, Herbert.
Sounds good. And then let's move to Offensive Player of the Year. Who you got, Jake?
I have Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
Christian McCaffrey winning Offensive Player of the
Okay.
Year.
I got Nick Chubb with Kareem Hunt out of there.
Okay. And then I'm going with Justin Jefferson. I think he gets too much volume.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, I think
with
he's too much volume there, and I go Justin Jefferson. So I don't think we need to repeat that. That was pretty quick.
Right.
So Defensive Player of the Year, who you got, Jake?
I'm sure it's going to be mentioned later in the episode. T.J. Watt.
Okay.
T.J. Watt.
Micah Parsons.
Okay.
He's my guy.
And I'm going T.J. Watt, too.
T.J. Watt.
Yeah, so I think T.J. Watt, obviously, he would have won MVP last year, or Defense Player of the Year last year if he didn't get hurt. He was causing havoc. He literally was, I think Steelers were I didn't think they lost a game to start the year with him on the roster. So, and they beat the Bengals to start the year. So I'm going T.J. Watt. Breakout. Let's go breakout player. Who do you think it's going to be?
Breakout player. Interesting. I think for a breakout year, I think Desmond Ritter has a
Okay.
breakout year. I think I think he's in a really good position where his line's at. Obviously, he has Bijan, which I have some interesting takes on him as we move on. Let's just say I've changed my mind a little bit. But I think Desmond Ritter has good weapons, but I think most importantly he's in a really good system for a quarterback to succeed. Even though it's a running offense, I think he's in a good system with Artie Smith.
I like as a breakout guy, a guy that wasn't like out of nowhere, but a guy that was good his first couple years in the league, and I expect him to take another step up this year, and that's Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's been a target hog since he came into the league, almost like a Cooper Kupp mold type of player, but the only kind of gripe on him is that he can't really find the end zone. And you had Jamal Williams on that offense last year get like 13 touchdowns at the goal line or something ridiculous. I just don't see that happening again. So I think that means a little bit more touchdowns going Amon-Ra's way, and I think that could mean a historic season for him.
Yeah, and then you just mentioned my guy. I'm going back to Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp actually breaks the reception record, and I think it's his own record. I think it's either him or Michael Thomas, but I think he breaks that record, and I see him being number 1, number 2 receiver this year. If he's healthy, obviously he has that hamstring, but Cooper Kupp's back on top, and I think you'll see him win the breakout.
I saw a stat the other day that said that when Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford were on the field, the Rams were still awful last year. They were like the 29th ranked offense over all categories, but still Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford were ranked the best combo in the league, and Cooper Kupp was on pace to break the receiving record again. So
and
he's
then now
insane.
let's move on to Coach of the Year, Jake. Who you got at Coach of the Year?
Coach of the year, I'm sticking with the Falcons. I'm going to go Artie Smith.
Artie
Me
I
Smith?
think
too.
Artie Smith wins Coach of the year.
That's who I had as mine too.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm going. He's all ball. I'm going Shane Steichen.
wow.
If you guys remember my predictions, though, I did say the Indianapolis Colts win the division. So I think if they win the division, I think
gotta stay consistent.
that makes sense.
Double
So
down on
I'm
your
going
guys.
Shane Steichen to win Coach of the Year.
I also think a sleeper candidate, maybe not a sleeper, but I'd say the favorite's probably Dan Campbell.
It
I
is
think
the favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dan Campbell's probably a good option too.
All right. So and then let's go Rookie of the Year offense. So offensive Rookie of the Year.
I told you guys that my mind's changed on Bijan. I think it's going to be Bijan. It's just his line is so good. Not only is he such a talent, but his line is just
Yeah.
it's great. It's great. I think Bijan wins it.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I have Bijan too. Like he said, their line. I mean, you take a guy, or you take an offense that turned Tyler Algier and Cordero Patterson into one of the best rushing attacks in the league, and then you bring over this elite prospect running back behind the second or first best run blocking line in the league. It's destined for him to win Rookie of the Year, I think.
And so right now it doesn't look like Jonathan Taylor's on the team. So my offensive Rookie of the Year is Anthony Richardson. So I think this team, once again, I have winning, going to the playoffs. So someone has to do it on the offense. And no Zach Moss. So our starting running back is Kenyon Drake now. Doesn't even know the offense yet. So I think Anthony Richardson's the guy that has to get us there. And I'm sticking with my prediction. So I'm going Anthony Richardson to win offensive Rookie of the Year. Who is your defense Rookie of the Year?
Will Anderson from the Texans.
So safe pick.
Yeah, Will. I just think that he gets so much bend off the edge, and I think D'Amico Ryans is going to get the best out of all of his pass rushers down there.
I'm going to have a guy that slipped in the draft who plays for a team that seems to just churn out good defensive backs over and over again. Really liked him coming out of Oregon, and that's Christian Gonzalez. I think he could be kind of like what Sauce was like last year.
And then I'm actually going to Philadelphia. I'm going Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter fills that Javon Hargrave position, and I think you're going to see him have a really good year at the middle position of that defense. I think he will have a lot of one-on-one because of Hassan Reddick. I don't have to go through their whole team, but they have so many good pass rushers, and obviously you're going to leave a rookie one-on-one most likely. So I think Jalen Carter will have a really good year, and I think he'll win Defense Rookie of the Year. So that is all of our predictions.
Walter Payton Man of the Year. Who you guys got?
I'm going Eli Manning.
Eli Manning.
He always is in there, but
perfect.
Walter Payton Man of the Year.
You just never know who's donating a bunch.
Exactly. It's everybody. There's always one player that's always in it though for every team.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
I forget
Yeah.
who is the Colts usually.
I don't know.
Was it? We always had Oh, is it like Ryan Kelly or something?
Yeah, it's usually like a lineman.
It's someone a little different. But so that is our predictions for Super Bowl and player awards. So do you guys have anything else you guys want to go over in the predictions?
No.
Nope.
No. All right. So you guys want to take a short break and then come back and do some Q&A?
Let's do it.
Does that sound good? All right. So we'll be right back. We'll take a couple minutes.
right, we are back. We got our Q&A. We're going to be answering your guys' questions
Let's go.
that you sent in. We'll pass it over to Carson for the first question.
Alright, so someone did ask, when can we buy merch? So funny enough, we talked about that at the start of the show. If you want to know, just go look at the beginning of the show. That's all I'm just going to say. I mean, like I said, River City Pretty did a good job. Good material on the shirts. They're thin. But yeah, they'll be on our Facebook, Instagram, all of our socials. There'll be a link. You'll see it. Just fill out the information.
I will say, though, I was in the gas station today, and a sweet old lady did say hello to me, and I think she was into me. So, not saying that they'll get you attention, but it worked for me, so you never
Nice.
know.
It's
Guess
probably
you-
that, it's probably that
You got to
sweet
pick
lady
one
you
up to
have
see.
on.
Yeah, it might be the lay.
So
Might be the lay.
lay.
Did you take it off of her? I think that's what it
Depends
was.
on who you ask.
Okay. Wow.
It either happened or it didn't.
All right, Jade, go with the next
Alright,
question.
We'll get a little bit more serious here. Patrick Machino says, Minka and TJ, two of the dirtiest players in the league. You can't be serious, Jaden, with a laughing emoji. Need some evidence here on this one. How have you come to this conclusion? Love listening to you guys. Well, first off, thank you for watching us, I guess.
So hang on real quick. So if you don't know Patrick Machino, he's a high school football coach.
Yeah.
So at Madison, our local school. So that's all I'm just going to say.
And I think he's referring to our video when we did our AFC North preview. I did call TJ Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick two of the dirtiest players in the league. And I think part of that has to do with, like I said earlier, I'm a Cowboys and a Bengals fan. So naturally, I do not like the state of Pennsylvania. I don't like the Eagles. I don't like the Steelers. I don't like TJ and Minka. And I mean, the Bengals aren't off the hook either. We've had guys like Vontez Burfict that I think definitely intentionally tried to hurt people and even got kicked out of the league for it. But yeah, I think there was an incident where Zach Wilson got basically jumped by TJ Watt after the play. There was another incident where TJ Watt was supposedly punching at the ball, but he was badly missing and just punching Alex Collins. And I didn't like how Minka kind of forced his way off of the Dolphins. So I don't really like those guys. And they're on the Steelers, so I naturally don't like them anyways. That's my thoughts on that.
So I'll speak on it too, and then you can too. I don't have a problem with the Steelers. I've never been really a fan of them. I don't really like them, but it helps. I'm in the AFC South, so I don't really have a problem with them.
Mm-hmm.
I like TJ Watt. I think he was a 20th draft pick. I think he earned everything he got. Like I said, I think earlier in the show I said he's Defensive Player of the Year. I think this dude's a freak. I like him. I think it's good to play a little dirty as a defensive player. I like it, a little gridiron. And then Minka, I think Minka's one of the top free safeties in the league, so I have no problem with it. But I'm not an AFC North guy, so.
Yep, and I don't care. Alrighty, if you had what would you guys name a Kentucky Derby horse? If you had a Kentucky Derby horse, what would you name it?
That's a really good question.
That is a
Never
good
asked that.
question. For me, I'd name mine Big Bones. Big Bones.
Big Bones.
Yeah.
Big Bones.
Big Bones.
You know what I think would be really funny?
What?
Like, you can name it something like really controversial, so the guy that's announcing has to say something like,
Like what?
could you
What would
imagine,
you name it?
oh, we got the moon landing is fake coming around turn 3
Oh,
or something.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
or Big Bones.
that'd be
I like
kinda
Big
funny.
Bones. You gonna go with the moon landing? As
yeah,
fake?
the moon landing was fake would be
All
good.
right, and then I'm going like H1 here. I'm going Miss Madison.
Hell yeah.
Miss Madison, let's go.
Uh-huh.
Miss Madison's my
Shout out
horse.
Miss Madison.
That is my horse. And then now it's back to me, right? All right, it says, this question is, there's no name, so do you have a favorite superhero? So, my favorite superhero is not really a superhero, it's more of a villain, I guess, and that's the Joker. I've always been a Joker fan. Joker's always been my go-to. I always like Joker. Yeah, Joker.
I think that's a good one. I'm kind of the opposite of the Joker. Mine's Batman. I remember when I was a kid, there was a car show in Louisville where they had the Batmobile there, and I dressed up in like my full Batman uniform and walked around for a few hours. I've always been a Batman guy. I played all the video games, so yeah, Batman.
And I don't know why, but mine's always been Doctor Strange. I just like the way how he does superpowers without like unconventional, like he moves stuff with his head and stuff like that.
Okay.
Doctor
Alright.
Strange.
That's you. You're Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I am. I'm not the one wearing a leg.
That's true. That's true.
I know.
Hey, you're Doctor Strange.
Doctor, feel good.
Jared asks, what sport are you closest to playing on a professional level? I think realistically, none of them. I'm not a particularly good athlete, but if you count like Just Dance on Wii Sports as a game, I was pretty good at that. Or like dodgeball, I'm pretty good at. What about you guys?
I mean, for me, if you like, I think the closest for my abilities right now is probably cornhole.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like for
Cornhole's good.
for my ability right now, you know.
I would say like I'm actually like I'm like not in bad running shape still, so I think I could. My best sport would probably still be basketball.
Oh, I was
But,
gonna
like-
say like a marathon.
No. My best sport is still probably basketball because I'm in decent shape still. But like
As a
probably
professional.
yeah, as a
probably
professional
cornhole.
though, it would probably be cornhole, just because you know what I mean. You're just I always say it's like shooting a free throw.
Right.
I mean it doesn't change, just same follow through. Yeah, probably cornhole as well.
Absolutely.
Well, I feel like that's one too that we don't even play it that often. I feel like we're all pretty good at it,
Mhm.
uniform. But if we did play it, like there's not much to the game of cornhole.
Mhm.
I think anybody could really become a professional if they practiced, and that's
Yeah.
with most things. So yeah.
I was asked what came first, the chicken or the egg?
What do you think?
I think the chicken because I think the chicken evolved from other
Really?
animals. Yeah, I think.
Get out.
Well, there's only ways.
I don't think so.
There's only one. There's only certain ways that all this stuff got on Earth, and it's through evolution, right?
Dude.
So I think that I think
So you said what?
the chicken came before the egg,
But without the chicken, you can't have an egg.
right? But without the egg, you can't have a chicken.
I'm
Dude.
with Carson on this one.
Yeah, thank you.
I believe that the chicken evolved from other animals.
I mean,
I believe you're
Laid
wrong.
eggs.
I think you're wrong too. But hey, I mean, at the same time, we could sit here and argue this all day.
Yeah.
So that was a great question you ever asked that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, kind of big
It's just a
controversy.
strange question.
Yeah. All right, so back to me. Let's go with what is the GOAT School Computer Lab game? Greatest of
come
all
on.
time.
Oh man.
Easy.
So
Easy.
Ghosts. I mean, so when I was in grade school, it was always Cool Math. That was always mine, and it was.
But you were asked the GOAT. One. What is the GOAT game?
See, but a lot of the games I wanted to play were blocked at EO Muncie. So like mine was always Papa Frieza,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
that
yeah.
that was always mine. But it was BTD 5,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it used to be like when we were younger at EO Muncie. But then they blocked it. They could somehow do that,
Mhm.
and then it turned on like Cool Math, and it was Papa Frieza. So
Mhm.
Papa Frieza for me.
Papa's Freezeria, you mean?
Is it
Yeah,
Friezaria?
whatever. Yeah, I like that game.
Yeah, it's a good game. For me, it's 2KMT Central.
Oh wow, that was a
We
good pick.
grinded.
That was a good pick.
Like
Grind
7th
it.
grade every day.
Oh, every single day. Yep, 2KMT Central.
Mine would probably be Run, the game where you like hit the arrows on the keyboard and you jump. And,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Run through the-
That was on Cool Math too.
yeah. Cool Math. A lot
Yeah.
of Cool Math games are good. There's a fly in here. Is that me next?
Was that your question that was asked? Or?
No.
Oh, I thought you said something about a fly.
There was. They keep,
Oh, okay, never mind.
Is it my question?
Yeah.
Someone asked, do you have an unpopular sports opinion?
Unpopular sports opinion.
Mm,
I mean, I have mine off the top of my head.
What is it?
that's it.
I think the Colts are the best team in the AFC South this year.
That is pretty.
I mean, that's out there.
Yeah.
So, and I'll throw another one too. I think the Pacers are a top 4 team next year
All right.
in the East. In the East.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, in the East, but
Well,
still.
we can't tell you're from Indiana.
right.
No.
Mine is probably
Hey, shut up.
sorry. Devin Hester. A lot of people think Devin Hester should be in the Hall of Fame. I think I've told you about this before, but I don't think he should be because I think kick returner, he was, like, it's not arguable. He's the greatest kick returner of all time. But I think guys like Tyreek Hill or Tyler Lockett could have been better than him, but they were so good at receiver that they couldn't keep him back there as a kick returner. And I think the only reason Hester was able to do that as a kick returner was because he wasn't that great of an actual receiver. So I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame, me personally.
All right, what about you, Jake?
For me, I don't know if it's that unpopular, but I hate Conor McGregor. Like I hate it. I
Yeah.
hate his guts.
He's one of those guys you either like or you don't.
I hate his guts. And if you like him, that tells me a lot about you.
I love Conor
That's
McGregor.
another thing. If you love him, that tells me a lot about you.
I
Also.
love Conor McGregor.
He's not even that good of a fighter anymore.
Not anymore.
Not as
no.
good. Not as good as he likes to say he is. He posted a. He posted a picture on Twitter the other day in his underwear and said, "Good night, sexies." So I mean, I just
Hey,
he's an idiot.
When you're the world's richest athlete,
and the world's most roided up athlete too
Hey.
now.
and when he walked,
Yeah, he's an idiot. I can't stand Conor McGregor.
I love Conor McGregor. He's so funny.
Yeah.
That's why I like him. He's so
Yeah.
funny. All right, whose question was that?
Jaden's.
All right.
Alrighty. What is your favorite sports quote? Favorite sports quote. For me, I think it's "Don't give up, don't ever give up" by Jim Valvano.
That's a great one.
Yeah, don't give up, don't ever give up.
I don't know. Probably float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali. It's pretty classic.
And
one.
mine's from actually last episode was family. Mine was my basketball coach, Sharon Wilkerson. He always used to say family. It was forget about me, I love you. That was family. So that's my quote. I'm going back to Sharon. I'm going back to high school days.
Yeah,
I'm going back to Sharon. All right, and then that was you, Jake, right?
yeah.
Let's see here. Do the Reds have a serious shot at the World Series? I'll start off with it since it's my question. I think they do have a shot, but I think it's a shot in the dark. I think it's going to be very hard.
So is it a serious shot?
No,
I-
I wouldn't say so.
I think they have a chance to make the playoffs. I'll leave it at that. But the thing is, though, pitching is hurting him right now. They're not hitting well. But I think at the end of the road, when we get to the end of September, October range, it's gonna be pitching. I think that hurts us the most. So I'm gonna say no. But I think we could. And
I'm gonna say no too, because even the dark horse teams that we've seen win it, like say the Nationals a couple years back that nobody expected to win it, even they had two elite pitchers in Scherzer and Strasburg, right, to get that done. And the Reds obviously don't have anybody even close to that caliber, so I don't think they have a serious shot. No.
And I third it. No.
My question. Someone asks, which one of you is the most Midwestern?
what's that mean?
Midwestern.
I don't even know what that means.
Like,
Just like overly friendly, like obnoxiously
Or
friendly
just-
almost.
has traits of people from the Midwest? Say the word challenging. How do you pronounce it?
Challenging.
Challenging.
I say challenging too, so I know like and it's like a common thing. Like Midwestern people,
Oh,
they say challenging. That's kind of how they pronounce it.
Challenging.
So I guess none of us are that Midwestern.
Yeah. Or are all of us super Midwestern?
Well, I can tell you right now, you look like you're from Hawaii. So I think
Yeah.
it'd come down to me and Jake. I think.
And I got a Hilton Head hat on, so
So I think it's me.
it's you.
Let's go!
Yeah.
I'm the most Midwestern.
You get that award. We'll give you a sticker afterwards.
Ooh, I'll take a cookie too.
All right.
Alrighty, my next question: who are the NFL players you guys liked growing up that didn't play on your favorite team? NFL players you liked growing up but didn't play on your favorite team.
Mine's easy.
I gotta think about mine.
Oh, you want me to let me go then?
I'll rack some off if you want.
All right, so mine's easy. I've already said this before. It's Jamal Charles. He's Kansas City Chiefs. Jamal's always my favorite, and he's always been my favorite, not even on my favorite team. So Jamal Charles is my favorite player of all time.
He was
on
like the
NFL.
McCaffrey before McCaffrey.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think of like whose jersey I wore that was on a different team. Reggie Bush, I really liked him on the Saints. Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones were really fun guys.
Ray Rice.
Adrian Peterson, I loved Adrian Peterson.
Ray Rice.
You did have a Ray Rice jersey.
I did. Not proud of it, but he was good.
You were at the time.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
For me, it was Brian Urlacher. I love Brian.
Oh,
Urlacher.
yeah.
I used to have like a Bears like football uniform.
Bear Don.
I used to have a Bears football uniform with like pads and.
You know, I had a
and-
full outfit of coaching outfit of Tom Coughlin, like the whole Giants.
That's sweet, dude.
I was a big old Giants fan. I used to be. Man,
Yeah.
old Tom Coughlin, what a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what a guy. He was on the Jacksonville Jaguars staff.
Absolutely.
But whose question was that?
That was mine.
Okay, so it's back to me. It's my last question. Compare yourselves to an NBA player based on your real life skill set. All right. Would this be best?
We should do each other.
I would say.
too.
Okay.
You give yourself one, and
Okay.
have us.
I'm gonna say a fair one probably for me would probably be. I mean, I might be biased, but I'm gonna say Curry or Trae Young.
I thought you were gonna say Zach LaVine.
Kinda. LeBron, Giannis. No, I'm gonna say probably Curry, Trae Young. I mean, I think that's mine. That's my personal opinion. What do you guys think?
No,
I don't know.
I think you're like Wesley Matthews.
Oh, nice. I'll
Yeah.
take Wesley Matthews.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like Seth Curry. He's got to be someone because he's not like
Seth Curry. That's a good
he's
call.
not flashy enough, I don't think, to be like a Steph Curry or Trae Young. But he definitely does shoot like a lot of threes, off the dribble. You hit some crazy shots sometimes, so yeah, I don't know, like
I think
Seth Curry.
yeah,
we
that's a
won't
good
give you
call.
Steph Curry, but Seth Curry. I
I'm
think
taking
is safe.
Steph, but
That's
all
a
right.
good call. That's a good call.
And
All right,
then Jaden. So who do you think first?
I've thought about this before. I think I'm not a good basketball player. Let me start off by saying that I'm not good. So I'm short, but I'm not like small. I'm kind of built more like a football player than a basketball player. So I'm thinking Lou Dort. Lou Dort's like a shooting guard, but he's kind of short. He's like 6'3", and he's built. I'm obviously nowhere near as good as Lou Dort, but I'd say him because I'm kind of like a hustle player. Not really the best offensive player, so I guess him if I had to say someone.
So I'm gonna say you're a forward. I think. Like I don't think you're a guard. So I'm gonna say like Antoine Walker. I'm gonna say Antoine Walker or there's someone else on my mind. Maybe Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley.
I mean,
see that,
like
yeah.
something like that. Like Antoine Walker, Charles Barkley, like a forward.
Well, if you didn't like those, you're not gonna like mine.
Let's hear it.
Zach Randolph. I think you
Oh,
play
junkyard
I
dog,
think you play exactly like Zach Randolph.
Oh,
played.
Zach Randolph.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What do
I
we
mean,
do like Zach
Just
Randolph?
like the rebounding.
I do
you're
not
just down-
beat people up in the post though at all. I think.
But you rebound, and yeah, you do. I feel elbows.
I'm
from
not
you
that
when
good.
You get his elbow when we play. I think Zach Randolph.
I'll take junkyard dog.
Oh yeah. All right, me next. I think I'm Ricky Rubio. I think that's who I play like.
He's old.
So,
Or
Andre
white,
Miller.
honestly, I think white chocolate.
He's Andre Miller.
Andre Miller.
I'm gonna say. Let's see here. Like maybe Marcelo Huertas. No, I'm gonna say. No, actually, I'm actually gonna say Tony Parker.
Tony
I think Tony Parker's
Ooh,
fair.
The little Frenchman.
That's
Yeah.
old Hedgie though. He used to play with.
I think. I think you're Tony Parker.
Tony Parker, I like that.
I think you're Tony Parker.
I like that.
All right, so that was
Zach
my last
Randolph.
question.
That's awesome.
Hmm?
I'm glad I got Zach Randolph.
I don't
So
think-
you're Tony Parker, you're Zach, and I'm Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
Is that how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm the best all-time player.
That's
of
what I'm
all of
saying.
these.
That's what I'm saying.
Sweet.
That's what I was getting at. I was like,
Seth Curry's probably the most accurate one though, out of all of them, I think.
I don't know, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think Seth
Tony
Curry's.
Parker. You play a lot like Tony Parker.
But you play exactly like Seth Curry. Think about Seth Curry's game. All the things he does that you don't do.
He don't shoot deep.
He shoots threes.
Doesn't shoot deep.
I mean, do you know how deep a deep shot is for an NBA three? It's like a 40-foot shot. Anyways.
Yeah, defeats the purpose.
Was that your question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was mine.
Oh, that was yours.
No, it's
Oh
mine.
yeah, now it's you, Jaden.
Yeah, compare
You want me to go ahead
yourself.
and go? If you have to sing karaoke, what song are you singing?
Oh goodness.
Like a song I pretty much know, like "Don't Stop Believing." I have video of like the whole basketball team singing that. So like when we were in like 7th grade, Jake, you were on that team. I think that's like one of the easiest songs to do.
I thought
So
my hair was looking good.
it was looking so good. But no, I think "Don't Stop Believing" is like that's the only thing that comes to my mind. So
I
I'm
think
gonna,
it has to be an older song because if you're singing karaoke, especially like a bar or something per se, it's got to be something that everybody else knows. And if it's a newer song, not everybody's gonna know it. So I think older songs are good. But for me, I listen to a lot of Adele. Surprisingly, that's kind of embarrassing. But what do I like sing in the car? "Piece of My Heart" by Janis Joplin. I like that song as a karaoke
I
song.
don't know.
Nice. For me, it's "Thunderstruck" by AC/DC.
Throwing it in there.
'Cause
Again,
I-
back to back.
You like
I can do that.
Dun.
The thing is, I can do that weird thing with my voice.
oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's why it's "Thunderstruck."
That's pretty
for me.
impressive. I'd hurt myself. if I did
Yeah.
that.
Alrighty.
Last
Jaden,
question. Someone asked, Holiday World or Kings Island? we need to know.
Holiday World 100%.
Easily Kings
Get out of
Island.
here. Free sunscreen, free parking, free soft drinks.
I mean, bring
Holiday
your
World.
bring your own sunscreen.
Well, me and Jake are going to say Holiday World because we're not tall enough to ride the roller coasters. And Kings Island.
I don't like
no, it just basically comes down to water park or
Yeah,
roller
really.
coasters.
Roller coasters or
Yeah.
water park.
And I
Kings
love
Island's
water-
roller coasters.
And I like
Holiday
roller
World
coasters
park.
better, so it's just like.
And I like water rides better.
I get
So
sick
yeah,
on
that's what
roller
it comes down to.
coasters.
So pretty much, if you like water, you're gonna say Holiday World. If you like
and
roller
if you like
coasters,
free parking, free drinks, free sunscreen.
And Santa Claus.
And-
if you celebrate.
Yeah.
if you
Santa Claus.
celebrate.
I love
Santa.
Santa. So, yeah, Holiday World for me because I'm not tall enough to ride the roller coasters at Kings Island.
All
So.
right. Are you at Holiday World?
Mhm.
Oh well. So what's their restrictions? Nothing.
Like the kiddie coasters, of course.
Oh,
Like the
okay.
little
Like
kids-
the ones that just go like in a little circle.
Yeah, like Little Bill's Giggle Coaster. Or
Okay.
whatever.
All right. So we're gonna take a quick break right there. That was all the questions, right?
Yep,
That
that
wraps
was
up
it.
Q&A number 3, right? And then after this break, we're going to talk about our own fantasy league that starts Saturday. Is our
That's
draft,
pretty exciting.
and
We'll
talk.
probably do a little bit of name dropping in there,
Maybe a
just as
little
far
bit.
as league mates and
Yeah,
what
so,
tendencies and all that.
So look forward to that, and then we'll take a short break, and we'll get to that.
right, we are back from our short break. We're close to the end of the episode, but we kind of wanted to touch on our exciting draft that we have this weekend. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Carson?
Yeah, so our draft is a little different. It just hits different. So this would be like it was year 9.
Year 8, I think.
Year 8.
Yep.
So this is a long, and granted, we're only 20 years old, so put that in perspective.
Right.
So this is year 8. That's a lot of years of fantasy football for only being 12 years old starting. Yeah, this league's been going on for a while. This league is an auction draft league. It started off as a snake draft league, but we made it auction. It makes
Can you
it more
explain
fun.
to them what an auction draft is for people that might not know?
Yeah, so like an auction draft is just like an auction. Like anybody can go. You you put a player on the block, and then say Jade says $10. I can say 12. Jacob can say 14. You get the point. And then whoever at the end has the most money on that player gets the player. And then you subtract that number from $100. So you get $100 to make your roster. I think this year we added 2 roster spots, so that makes it even more competitive. And actually, we added another starting receiver spot to the league. So that is another big aspect to our draft. I think we have is it 17 or 18?
17 roster spots.
17 roster spots this year. So you have 17 players you have to get. So you at least have to have $1 per player. And if you go over that limit, you got to pay $20 fee, and it goes to the winner of the pot. So you don't want to go over. It's going to be very difficult this year.
So not only is it a 17-man or not only is it a 17 roster spot league, 3 wide receivers, $100 salary cap to spend, but also it's a 14-man league.
14-man.
So it's not like it's like a 10-man league. It's 14-man league. 12 people will be in person. Obviously, all 14 will be there. But it's 14 of our closest friends, and it is an absolute blast every year to do that draft.
Yeah, and then my thing is this too. It's like, so you have a 14-team league. Most teams have 2 quarterbacks, so that leaves 3 on the waiver wire. That leaves 3 running backs on the waiver wire because you have 2 starting running backs at least.
Yeah.
And then and usually you have backups after that too. So there will be no running backs on the waiver wire basically. And then you got 3 receivers. So every team has 3 starting receivers though. So that is fair, but not all of them are always good.
Yeah.
So but that's what values the wide receiver position even more this year because we're adding a spot.
Well, it should balance it out. Though,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm
'Cause
saying.
Usually there's so many receivers. Like some people have starting level receivers on their bench because we didn't have enough spots. So that'll kind of take this away to where it's just as shallow for the running backs as the receivers. And I think that's a good thing, really.
Well, and what's crazy is like you can actually have a team on your on your roster. You can have you could be starting 4 receivers. That is actually insane. And so I think it's going to be interesting. I personally think, and I know we might have people in our fantasy league watching this, but I think what's crazy, we were talking about it before Jaden got here today, me and Jacob were, I think it's going to be crazy how much I think Travis Kelce's going to go for. I think he should be the most expensive player in the draft because of he's so much different than all the other positions.
I disagree. I think when you add the 3 receivers, that makes up the ground. Because like in a format like we did last year, I would do that for Travis Kelce, and I think that's why he was always the best value because you could get such a big advantage for like $20. Last year was the year I think he should have been like $30. Not this year when you can make up that ground with receivers.
I just don't think I think when you get a guy like Travis Kelce and you start a guy like Gerald Everett, and then you're okay. You get Sterling Shepard, and I got Devin Duvernay. Okay, you're better. But
Well, odds are, if you're spending money on Travis Kelce and I'm not doing that, all right, I might have a crappy tight end, but I'm going to have 3 great receivers that are each putting up probably
I don't know about
15
great.
points a game. I will. That's what.
Well, if you're
that's
spending
what best ball
$20
is.
on a tight end,
Yeah, you're not going to have that great
Okay.
receivers probably.
right?
So it kind of evens out when you have 3 receiver
But
spots.
I think one thing I've looked at, because I guess you guys don't have the rights to the draft board. I don't share it to the whole because they can change stuff. But when you look at the past draft board, it is actually unbelievable how many guys, receivers, go less than $3.
Yeah, well, that's also just the nature of it. A lot of guys break out. You never know,
Yeah.
what you're gonna get.
But it is actually crazy though how many guys go under $3. Granted, that might change this year because we have another receiver spot. But it is just crazy to think that there's so many receivers that go under $3, and these are wide receiver 2s, going for $3, and good wide receiver 3s like Tyler Boyd, he's going for $3. It's like, I mean, yeah, he's a wide receiver 3, but that's a wide receiver 2, maybe a wide receiver 1 on any other team. So I think I just feel like there's a huge difference in Travis Kelce and all the other tight ends compared to the wide receivers. I know, yes, there's Justin Jefferson and then there's all those other guys, but I feel like it is so much easier, like, just to go get Travis Kelce and then.
Yeah, my strategy is I like to get a guy like Travis Kelce, but if I don't get him, I'm not taking a tight end until the end of the draft. That's just how it is, because I feel like I'm confident that I can make it up with receivers. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad he said that. I'm gonna remember that. I'm writing that down right now.
So yeah, it'll be it's gonna be a fun league this year. It's always highly competitive. Everybody's always motivated to win. Yeah, I mean, you guys have anything else?
Yeah, and then,
Auction is really the best, though,
Right.
wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
when I remember when I came into your league the first time, you told me it was auction.
well, I switched it late.
Yeah.
So my first 2 years were actually Snake, like I said. And then next year, I told everybody, I was like, I did auction. I just did this auction draft the past couple years. I said, you guys would love it. Next year, I remember every single one of you guys were like, no.
skeptical,
Yeah, no. Next year, I was like, I'm actually just gonna make it. We're doing auction. Next thing you know, everybody was all mad. Next thing you know, it turned out to probably be the best thing for the draft. I
Yeah.
think it turned out you can go out and get people you want. That's the best thing
that's
about
what I was
auction.
about to say. Like, I had only done snake drafts up until that point, until I joined your league. And, when you have a snake draft, you kind of just get the guys that fall your way. You don't really have a whole lot of control. And when you're talking about an auction draft, yes, there's a lot more factors that go into it. It's more difficult. You can't just be a beginner and go into an auction draft. Odds are you're not going to do so well. But if you do your research, really, you can go out and get whoever you want, and you can build a great team that you would not be able to build in a regular snake draft. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah, and then I want to touch on being a league commissioner. If you're ever a league commissioner, it is the hardest thing to ever do when you got college friends, like when you're a college student. Hardest thing to ever do. If you're a league commissioner out there, I praise you. Trust me, you don't get much praise, but I praise you. It is very difficult, and no one wants to do it. But another thing I want to touch on in the roster positions is we talked about before. We always have guys in our league for some odd reason. Justin Tucker, the top defenses, they'll go $3. And it's just
I'm
like
never gonna
I
do
would say, well, this year you're out of your mind if you're wasting $1 on an extra.
I'm a
Extra
stream
$2,
kicker. defense
dollar
kinda
on
guy.
a Justin Tucker or an extra or for a defense. I mean, I was
Too
telling
valuable.
him, I think defense is fair. Defense there's a little bit of an edge on the top 3 defenses, I think. But everything else, though, I think you're nuts if you go over $1 for a defense.
Yeah.
And kicker, I think you're ridiculous if you go over at all for $1. I think Justin Tucker, all the way down to Justin Tucker, all the way to
Roberto Sanchez.
yeah, Rodrigo Blankenship.
Yeah.
And he's not even on a roster. But I think everybody should be $1 on kickers. But
Also, maybe you know something like that's just part of the strategy, right? Maybe
Yeah.
somebody goes $2 for Tucker, and that's where their advantage is going 2 for Tucker. But yeah,
I still think it's that big of an advantage. You know what I mean?
Right.
At kicker position.
right.
But yeah, I think I'm excited for the draft, and I think
And then who at Will Heights has first nomination this year?
yeah.
Because he
And
won the league
I don't want
last
to
year.
talk about Will Heights.
who do you think
He's
it's
so
gonna
bad.
be? Who do you think?
First name off the board, probably Jefferson. If I had to
You
guess.
think? Oh wow, starting off with just 1-1.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be good to check the value.
Yeah.
Where do you think Jefferson goes this year?
Value?
I think he should be. Him and McCaffrey should be the most expensive players in my.
What do you
opinion.
think that price is?
See, we were talking
I
about
would
this
think
before.
he's
Let's
probably
see
at
what he
least
says.
32. The high end probably 35, based on past
You
years.
can have him.
But it could be higher.
You got him
It
for
could.
35.
I mean, wide receivers are more valuable than they've ever been, so it could be justified to pay $40 for Jefferson. I don't
We
know.
were saying 25 range.
25?
We think big name players with an extra starting spot. We think it's going to be 25, maybe 30 range, but 25, 30 range, like 27, 28.
Well, the other thing is, like, this league's so, like, a ton of commitment. So, like, we wouldn't just talk out open, like, what we think our strategy is.
Yeah.
It's so different when you get in there. Like,
Yeah.
things change. Like, we could sit here and say this, but then Jefferson's out there for 32.
And
Maybe
you
me and
feel
Carson
the
go
pressure
for it,
too.
you know? Yeah.
Well,
When
and
you're in
then
the middle of
I've only
bidding.
done this one time, and every out of the 8 years now, I've never went to a draft saying I want to get somebody until last year, and it happened, and it did not work out. I went out and got Jonathan Taylor for $48, $46. Didn't work out because he got hurt, obviously, but like still made the playoffs. But like in my league, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's almost now to the point it's bullcrap if you have a strategy. You don't have a strategy.
Well, yeah, and
you
even
go
if
to the
you
draft,
do, like it
gets-
hits the fan a lot of times.
It gets broke. It does. Because I guarantee it, one of the other 13 people want that player too, and then next thing you know, it just takes one person to mess that up.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
Your
think
best bet is to have maybe, say, 3 or 4 guys that are kind of similar to you, and set a budget, and, like, if you can't get him at that price, all right, we'll move to the next guy
Yeah.
and see if we can get him. That's probably the best thing you can do.
yeah, and that's all. I mean, I'm just going into the draft. I'm gonna see what values they're there, and then that's what I'm rolling with. I have players in mind, but I ain't going for them. So
It's a lot of pressure. I'm
Yeah.
nervous. I can't lie.
I have one guy this year that like I don't plan on leaving the draft without.
wow,
There's one guy.
don't let me figure out
I
who it
don't know
is.
who it is.
You don't have to worry. I don't think you guys have no clue.
I bet you I do.
Have
I've
you
been
mentioned?
holding my cards close to my chest.
Oh yeah, mention this guy, huh?
Take a guess. Take a guess.
You're gonna
Who does he seem like a guy for? He seemed like a Gibbs guy.
It's a good guess.
Kamara.
and I'm gonna
Break
say
Even being out three weeks, you think I'd go for Kamara?
No, I'm saying I think you.
Like,
I've
think
heard
he's
you.
gonna
I've
be a
heard you
Kamara.
talk about Gibbs.
I like Gibbs.
and I
do.
think I could see you thinking Gibbs is going to be like what Kamara's rookie year,
I'm gonna
was,
say-
which is good.
and I'm gonna go based off today. I'm gonna say Bijan.
Bijan, got
Oh,
you.
Garrett
I
Wilson,
did,
he was high on Garrett
Garrett
Wilson.
Wilson too. I did flip the script on Bijan, but I mean,
I've
I think
always
liked
Bijan's
Bijan.
gonna go for
And then
a
another
ton.
thing you can kind of take away from the show. Granted, though, if you're watching this and you're in our league, granted though, who knows if we're just bullcrapping up here?
I could be blowing smoke.
Oh,
you know?
I'm telling you this right now. I'll just go ahead and tell you guys. I've been for the last probably 2 to 3 weeks. I've been bullcrapping because there's one guy out there that I haven't like praised, but like there's one guy
Yeah.
out there.
And then that's kind of
Yeah.
like I have players in mind that I haven't really
Who
mentioned.
do you think I'm a guy for? Like who do you think my guy is?
So it's I'm not gonna say I've drafted with you quite a bit, and I think
Underdog.
yeah. So and I think there's some players I've seen you
I
draft
think
with
I know one of the
Every
guys that I think.
every time
Michael
I-
Pittman. I've drafted so much. Of.
I just know a lot of guys you've drafted every time I've drafted with you. So
I personally think it's Saquon. That's who I think it
Saquon?
is. That's who I think.
I don't
it
know.
is.
Nate always thinks that I like to be on the same
Mhm.
players every year, but
Yeah.
that's actually not me. I'm very different from year to year. I'm usually not the same guy year over year.
So I'll say somebody else, another guy that I'm not going to say the top who I think, but I'll say another guy that I think you might be for. I think it's actually Jonathan Taylor. I
Oh,
think
you think
Really?
so?
I think you'll go for Jonathan Taylor. And I think
Especially, well, if you can get him at a good price, who wouldn't?
yeah, but
look
thing
at
is-
Hopkins.
Here's
last
the
year.
issue: a good price can turn into a bad price. real
Well, the
quick.
crazy thing is, like,
It's
what
risky.
is his
You gotta have some
value?
balls.
Yeah.
What is his value? I don't think no one
That's
knows
a
till
great
you get in the
question.
draft.
Because if he goes for 20 and he plays, what a steal! If he goes for 30 and doesn't play,
So, and this
I
is
was the
another thing.
idiot that got
So
Melvin
if you're-
Gordon for 20
Right,
that
yeah.
one.
And this is another thing. If you're watching this in our league, this is why you don't draft in July.
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is why you don't draft. That's a perfect example. And we're still drafting too early, but we have to.
Yeah.
So it makes a big question mark. It's fair to everybody still, but I think it's always best to do the draft as late as possible. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor, who knows? And there's guys like DeAndre Hopkins. On a running team, how much
Right.
is his value?
Right.
And then he's kind of been okay throughout the years, been injured a lot. What's his value? There's a lot of guys like that. It's just fantasy's gonna be crazy this year.
It is.
It was kind of down, the fantasy numbers were kind of down last
Yeah.
year.
There hasn't been like a legendary running back season in a couple years.
Since
So-
what Kamara?
So
Todd Gurley and like
Derrick
McCaffrey.
Jonathan
there hasn't
Taylor.
been
What
guys
did
like
Kamara
that.
get that one year? Like 60, right? He got 60 points.
I don't want to
against-
talk about that game.
I got
yeah.
it
That
was
in
a
our
championship
fantasy
game between us.
That's
and I
probably the
won.
last. That's probably the last like legendary.
game.
They
game.
call, I think, legendary is like 23 or more points per game, and there hasn't been a guy
Jonathan
since.
Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor was 22 because I looked this up, so he was close.
Huh.
But
He had a great year. that year.
20,
I traded-
19
I
or
traded
20
for
was the
him.
last one.
I traded for him in like week 4.
He was insane. He was like a third rounder that year too,
Yeah.
like Snake. So
Yeah.
You never
But
know.
yeah, so I just think there's just so many what ifs. But I think this year in the NFL, you'll see a lot more points on the board.
I agree.
I think you'll see. I feel like there's a lot more like the connection. Like Aaron Rodgers is back with Hackett.
Right.
I think that's big. There's a lot of guys. Ritter's going to year 2. You guys kind of mentioned that. I think you'll see a better Colts team this year. I really do. I just feel like you're going to see a lot better teams this year. I think. I know COVID's gone, but I feel like that kind of maybe could have messed with some stuff. But I don't know. I think you'll see a better year this year in the NFL.
For
A lot more points.
Definitely.
So is there anything else you guys want to talk about fantasy?
Not at all.
All good. All right.
I'm
So
not
let's
trying to spill the beans.
yeah, exactly. So that is Saturday at 6. We don't know, but we'll post it. We'll let you know if we thought about maybe live streaming it, but we'll post if we are. If not, we might post the draft. We might post the draft board. If we
Yeah,
don't,
that'd be cool.
if we don't stream it, we'll post the draft board at least.
That'd
But
be cool, yeah.
we'll let you know on Saturday if we are streaming, but we'll let you know. It is a very good time. If you don't do fantasy football, get into it. It makes football a lot better.
Yeah. If you're not an NFL fan, if you play fantasy football, it'll make you an NFL fan.
And that's another thing.
Real
Going
quick.
forward, I know we have NBA starting up soon and everything, and MLB coming to an end. So, and college basketball. This show will talk a lot about football. It will be a lot of overreaction stuff. So, if you don't like football, fantasy football, probably not your show. I mean, honestly. I mean, we watch. Yes, we talk about other stuff, but we're going to talk a lot of football during fantasy football time.
And I think that's a good thing for us because, I mean, we're all basketball fans and baseball fans.
Basketball's my favorite, probably.
Yeah. But I think really football for us, or for me personally, football is easily the thing that I know the most of. And I think it's what we can talk the most passionately about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And you're going to see a lot going forward. Jake's actually last episode is next Tuesday in studio, but he will be in live stream, so he'll be still on the camera and everything.
We'll have to change the setup.
At his college, huh?
We'll have to change the setup around a little bit.
I know, yeah, we'll change it up a little bit. So he'll still be here, but plan to watch a lot of fantasy football talk. Plan to watch a lot of NBA talk when it gets going, and then maybe we'll probably talk a lot of MLB during the playoffs, but nothing. MLB will probably drop in a lot.
They'll probably do a lot of like politics and stuff like that.
And another big one though is I haven't mentioned college basketball. We'll talk a lot of college basketball. So
we love college
look forward to that, and we are gonna. And that's another thing we plan on. Well, we've talked about maybe moving 3 times a week during school time. So we don't know. We'll let you know. We'll at least stay in 2. So that is what we're looking like going forward. We will be live next Tuesday, maybe Saturday. We'll let you know. Next Tuesday, probably 3 or 6. We'll send it out on social media. So look forward to that.
Honestly, next Tuesday, first stream after the draft. Probably a lot of content there, just fantasy-wise, talking about teams and stuff like that.
So we'll probably. I know we're definitely going to post a draft board. If not, we'll go live and we'll post a draft board anyway. So we're going to post a draft board anyway. We'll probably go over our draft board. I think that'd be cool to go over each team, even if you don't know the people. It will kind of help you with your fantasy draft.
Yeah,
who
for
we
sure.
think.
Kind of show you what the values
there's
are.
really not, like, if you look on YouTube and stuff, there's not much, like, auction draft, like,
Not a
tips
lot of people
out
do
there.
auction.
Yeah.
No.
And
So-
it's the best format. in
It
our
is. So
opinion.
look forward to that. So that is what we're looking like the next couple weeks. And then let's go ahead and move on to final words.
Final words. I guess for me, I'll just shoot off. Get a shirt. Get a shirt. $15 for a suit. Like, it's not that heavy cotton cheap crap. Like, it's a
I
nice
know what it is.
shirt.
It's 48% polyester, 52% cotton. So if you're a shirt guru, that's what it is.
It's a breathable shirt, nice shirt, and $15. Plus, it's a neat shirt. Like, it looks cool, and you're supporting us, which we really appreciate. That's the other thing.
And the
We really appreciate
old
it.
ladies at the gas station love it. Apparently.
Absolutely,
So.
you'll even get laid.
Exactly. Laid. Exactly.
Yeah,
Literally.
laid.
So yeah, my final words is buy a T-shirt like he said, and then also let's have a good draft.
Let's do it, baby.
Let's have a good
Let's do
draft.
it.
So you want to wrap it up?
If you've ever heard a rumor about me, it's definitely true.
Alrighty, so please like and subscribe. We will be back next Tuesday, maybe Saturday. We'll let you know, 3 or 6. Have a good one, and peace.